It is episode 288 of Chair Shot Reality. Eisenberg LeBar. We are back in our studios, continuing to get upgraded here at Point Park University. Hello, everybody out here on Periscope land. That's right. If you check out 4:30 every single Thursday, the WrestleZone Periscope, you can watch some of the behind the scenes if it's interesting, and of course watch the very first segment being filmed right here on the weekend. Which we're going to start, Josh, with some hot topics. Let's get going here. Jushin Thunder Liger are going to be working some more with NXT.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see Jushin Thunder Liger. We saw him in Brooklyn Saturday Night Live. I did. 50 years old, 24 championships total in New Japan. Ghoulish is dancing over there. But Jushin Thunder Liger, I like this because Jushin, what do you same thing? I like this because this is a guy that was number 8 in the top 500 in 2000, number 12 wrestler in 2003 for PWI. This guy's good. He comes into NXT, trains the guys, and every time that NXT is going to have that special in Japan, immediate ticket sales because of this guy. Justin, tough enough winners. Josh, not me, the other one, and Sarah earning those WWE contracts.
I voted for both of them in the finale. Josh obviously looks like he's got all the parts. He's going to have to improve and get more experience, but he's got a lot to build off. Sarah, I picked her from week 1. I'm happy for her. I thought she had the better match against Alicia Fox. She still's got to have to come more out of her shell, more personality to build off of. Amanda definitely also looks the part. I do not think we've seen the last of her or ZZ. So all in all, we're still going to see more. But ZZ, I don't know how far he's going to go.
Add one more Z, and that's what he does to me. I fall asleep.
Clever.
Yeah.
Stephen Amell had his first match at SummerSlam. It did not look like his first match, though.
It didn't. He didn't really have a costume, which I was a little frustrated about. You know me, Justin. I like my guy in tights. I need to see what they're wearing. I need to get the big presentation. But he looked good in the ring. The physicality was there. He took a lot of the brunt of the defense. He really sold these moves. It didn't look like it was his first ever match. So I was very excited. It's very interesting to see him. I don't think we're going to see much more of him anymore because he didn't really grab those headline attention like the Hollywood and just social media and everything like that. It was nice. It was a one-off. I don't care to see him anymore. King Barrett is done with his gimmick, changes to his real name on Twitter.
Yeah, this is weird. I know he's taken some time to go film a movie, so that kind of explains him being attacked by Stardust and, written off of, you say. But man, how many times do we keep saying, oh, if they don't do it right this time, it's the last straw? I mean, I don't know what to say about the whole, first off, the King Barrett thing just fell flat. He should have never stopped what was working, which was the bad news gimmick. So I don't know what to hold here. Maybe let's try to go back to what was working, which he was almost getting ready to convert to a babyface as bad news. Forget about the King gimmick. The King gimmick has been so redundant. If your name's not Jerry Lawler, you don't need to be the King. The Dudley Boys, Team 3D, back.
Excited. One word, Justin. Excited. Team 3D back. Elevates these young tag teams in the WWE. Young guys that don't have any direction, aside from the New Day, but don't have any direction, can immediately feel important by going against one of the best tag teams that professional wrestling has ever had to offer. But Bully Ray in TNA, now Bubba Ray Dudley, one of the best heels that TNA had. And I love to see him back. He looks in great shape. Devon looks in great shape. And just a little side note, Team 3D Academy, 45 minutes away from Full Sail University. Do you think WWE targeted that as even in more of a minor leagues before they go into NXT? I think that's a great thing for them to do. Justin, NXT, speaking of, in the UK.
This is huge news. Triple H dropped the bomb on the conference call he had with us in the media a few weeks ago. It was on the question I'd asked him, in fact, and then as soon as he said it, he paused and said, well, the internet's going to explode, and the internet has exploded. NXT in the UK is a great choice. I think they're going there in mid-December, just before they do their holiday break. And I'll tell you this, NXT in the UK, once the UK gets the live experience of NXT, don't kid yourself, that is going to have a detrimental effect on TNA because TNA does good business internationally outside of the US, but once you get the NXT product there live for them to experience, all of a sudden that TNA ticket's not going to seem quite as valuable. Yep. What is very valuable and what has been the ultimate hot topic, Josh, is the finish of Brock Lesnar versus The Undertaker at SummerSlam. I wrote about it. I talked about it. I'm just going to I'll fill this in. After getting the better part of a week to sleep on it and look, I think all in all, I get and I understand. And I think when the rubber match is done, I will be okay with the decision to end the way they did, to keep Brock Lesnar babyface to having conclusion. My number one problem was WWE, a rarity. They slipped up on their production. If we would have saw, it was tough for me live. I don't know what it was like for you.
It wasn't.
If we would have seen Taker tap, that would at least make more sense.
I think that's
first
why
time
there were
around.
so many replays. I'm okay with the finish. I don't think it was, like you said, executed appropriately.
No.
The cameras were out of place. The timekeeper randomly ringing the bell. You had no idea what was going on. But really, this is the only way that WWE thought in their mind that they could finish or even extend this feud between Brock Lesnar and The Undertaker. It makes Brock Lesnar look like a monster, a warrior, a guy that had The Undertaker tap out only to get low-blowed and then, pass out afterwards and really flicking off, The Undertaker before he lost his last breath. But I will say this, though. As much as I was skeptical to see how this came out in a bell-to-bell contest, this was fantastic. A fantastic fight feel. It was not as
It was better than the first match.
Oh, miles better than
Yeah.
the first match. If the first match had The Undertaker beat Brock Lesnar, that might have been one of The Undertaker's worst WrestleMania matches since Mark Henry's casket match almost a decade ago.
This was definitely better than the first match. I enjoyed it much more. I enjoyed the more brawl physicality of it. I love the way they started.
Yeah.
Brock just bull rushing Taker. Again, going back though, as you said, I love the last act of Defiance of Lesnar flicking off Taker. Great effect there. But again, at least for me live, I lost it. I don't have that effect to me until I've gone back and watched it since, because live, all I was doing was scratching my head trying to figure out what has happened in the first place. So all in all, now that I have a slept on it, like I said, I'm fine with the fact that they kept Brock babyface. That's good, and that was the only way to do it, and also still get Taker a win. Rubber match, I guess WrestleMania, and how about it?
It can't be WrestleMania.
Well,
the rubber match cannot be WrestleMania.
If it gets held at WrestleMania, how about this? I know I'm not the first person probably to think of this. I'm not taking credit for it. How about this? Undertaker versus Brock Lesnar. Charles Robinson couldn't get the job done. There needs to be the ultimate sheriff. Put Austin as the referee in Dallas. If he's not going to wrestle, that's the way to get involved in the biggest match.
Not a bad thing, either that or there has to be some sort of stipulation, right? 2 regular singles matches, there's many stipulations. Go ahead.
Paul Heyman. Taker, when you're conquered, you retire.
Heard it from the horse's mouth.
Horse's ass.
Yeah, absolutely.
Justin LeBar, Josh Eisenberg, we got a whole weekend of stuff going on. We got Brian Goulish back in studio. We got the beautiful, real Britt Baker back in studio. We're going to talk about all the hot topics. Don't go anywhere. Periscope, thank you. It's been fun. Chair Shot Reality, #1 procrastination tool on the internet. LeBar, Eisenberg, back from his Sting schedule.
We had this summer schedule here at Point Park University. This guy comes here once a month.
Then
we
should
gotta
have
up his feet.
You should have had a box here. You should have raised the box up and say, who's here? Is it going to be Ghoulish? Is it going to be Britt? Or is it going to be somebody else?
I can't be
True. That's true.
Well, if the choice between you and Britt, sadly, I think that
I'm going to take
you might get
Ghoulish.
outvoted.
I'm actually Team Ghoulish.
I don't know.
I'm Team Ghoulish.
I'm surprised you didn't have Sting face paint on. Come on.
The big news, Monday,
Come on.
Sting appearing in Brooklyn. Ghoulish. I didn't see much on Twitter. I mean, you were very
A little
quiet.
hot in that box, though.
Listen,
Face paint being worn off like you did a 30-minute classic.
Listen, at this point in his career, at 56 years old, 2 things. A, I'm not going to tweet when there's very few precious moments to probably see him in ring, in action yet. I don't want to ruin those moments. I want to remember those moments. But B, speaking of 56 years old, I like the concept of Sting main event and Seth Rollins. They set it up last year when he interfered and cost the Authority the match at Survivor Series, and Seth Rollins had an involvement there. But at the end of the day, is a 56-year-old guy going to hold your top title? And if he does, the one thing I did tweet is I think that unfortunately he'll drop it either that night at Night of Champions right away. Somehow Triple H, the Authority, attacks him and he loses. Sheamus cashes in.
And that's the right thing.
That is the right thing, and I agree.
Let's not get lost in translation. Sting should not be going on a run.
But honestly, Sting should also, he does not need the title. Why? Okay, Sting was your title for 13 seconds. That'll look worse on his career resume.
And that's my problem, I think, with this match is I'm excited to see it because I don't think Seth Rollins can put on a bad match with a broomstick. I think he can carry Sting if he needs to, but apparently all the reports are saying, oh, Sting's in the best shape of his life. He didn't look bad at WrestleMania, so this is a really good pairing for Sting. He's going to be able to get carried if he needs to with a guy like Seth Rollins. I just don't understand why they're putting the world title on the line. I know it's Night of Champions, but it doesn't necessarily have to be a world championship match. You could have John Cena's rematch against Seth Rollins earlier in the night, which I think is what they still need to do.
And that
you still need to have Seth Rollins compete for both titles.
That there's an interesting thing is with Cena, because what is to stop? I mean, last week we got the big reveal and the close that Sting's here. And then they put the graphic already up, Sting versus Rollins. But what's to say John Cena doesn't come out this week on Raw and say, Sting, you're a legend, got nothing against you, but get in line. I got a rematch clause. I got screwed out, by some former talk show host. And who's to say it doesn't turn into Sting versus Cena versus Rollins? It only again,
I don't know if
they're trying to get network subscribers.
But why would it be a triple threat match for the world title? Cena doesn't have a rematch for the world title. He has a rematch for the U.S. title. Loophole LeBar.
Well,
Loophole LeBar.
He can still make a case. You're right, but he can still make a case. I'm a terrible lawyer.
It wouldn't make any sense for him to hold the U.S. title, but you tweeted out Sting's coming back for the WCW U.S. title. I know you were joking.
Too many people took that seriously.
You took a lot of heat for that, but that may not be the worst idea in the world. Again, have him carry that title, not the WWE title. Can someone please make their mind up? Is he going to be all black and white, or is he going to throw a little bit of red in? Because every week it's something different that we see when we do see him.
He's just trying to make it special.
How about Seth Rollins and then all white with the gold?
Oh, I knew you were.
Oh man, I was in Cloud
Power
9.
Ranger.
Cloud 9.
If you
guy
guys
brings his duds to the big show.
If you guys want to know something interesting or just weird about each of us, I'm sure we'll release those over time. The weird fact about Josh is this guy has an odd memory for everybody's tights they wore in a big match. I don't know why.
You can judge me if you want, but
I don't know why.
It's okay. It's absolutely okay.
He remembers what suit he wore on big episodes here. It's been 288. I guarantee you can tell.
So let's get back to this Sting thing. Are we going to see Sting the following 4 weeks leading up now to Night of Champions? I think we have to see him at least 2 of the 4.
I think 2 of the 4. I think that's what it is, because the other 2 can easily be John. I'm sold that it's going to be Seth Rollins carrying double duty at Night of Champions. I think you have to have that, and that's a way, I think, for WWE to say, if Sting does beat Rollins, well, Rollins already fought earlier in the night. And just like you said, Seth Rollins can start and end, and then you have a cash in with Sheamus. I think that's the best opportunity. And how much heat? Everybody will say, oh my gosh, are you kidding me? Sting is the WWE champion? How much heat for the only original heel in WWE right now, Sheamus, a guy that gets booed 99% of the time, maybe the 1% from guys like Ulibar. That's a perfect way to put him in.
I boo him, and I think it's a good heel. I like booing him.
I'm jumping a month ahead here because the event's not till September 20th. Our preview show will be that weekend. But here's what I can honestly see happen. It's been marinating up here in this little thing I call a brain of
like
mine.
A steak.
Did you notice on the network afterwards, Triple H said, finish what I didn't finish? Well, maybe Triple H doesn't want Seth Rollins to finish. Maybe Triple H wants to be the lasting guy that took out Sting. What if Triple H set up that feud with Rollins by costing Rollins against Sting?
I think Rollins has to go babyface eventually, but I think that would almost be a little bit too convoluted. I'd rather just see Rollins. I'd rather see Rollins lose the title, Sting win it, then Sting lose it to cash it in, and Triple H say, this is all your fault. Like you couldn't finish. I thought you were supposed to. We're giving you statues and this and that. And then Rollins, obviously, the tension start to build up and to the point where we have a match with Triple H later this fall.
Is there a way that Sting goes 0-2 and loses?
Yes, there's a way. It's very possible. I think it's kind of remarkable to think that he's 0-1. He's the number 1 contender.
And he's the number 1 contender. Yeah, he hasn't really had any.
The Dudley Boys
because he's the icon, baby.
The Dudley Boys haven't been around in 10 years, and they're going to be number 1 contenders for the tag title. So I guess Legacy does have its place.
And stop complaining about the damn face paint, people. Yes, it was 125 degrees. He was in a hoodie, standing in a box for 15 minutes after they snuck him into it once it was in the ring. Okay, it peeled off a little bit. Just
it's still funny though.
Simmer down, folks.
Yeah, calm your jets.
It's funny.
Pump the brakes.
Tell them to calm their brakes.
You were a little fired up right now. You come back from vacation.
I know.
3 vacations in a month.
If you check out CSRWrestling.com, our social media, we got all kinds of new stuff going on, all kinds of different features and blogs and this and that, all for you. Check it out online. Things like the Periscope, things like a new audio podcast coming from our bloggers, for the fans, by the fans. Check it all out again at CS Reality on Twitter, Chairshot Reality on Facebook. Coming up next, we're going to talk about, well, you two are going to talk about it today. I'm taking the time off here. You guys are going to talk about the Wyatt family, new member, and also does there need to be a third who joins with Reigns?
And welcome Brett Baker. He's coming back?
Yeah, Britt will
Finally.
be on, Britt will be on there too as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
We got
Guys,
more.
stay tuned.
Chairshot Reality, this is Britt Baker. I'm back here with Brian Gulish and Josh Eisenberg, here to talk a little bit more wrestling. Guys, this week there's a new addition to the Wyatt family.
6'8".
6'8". Why don't we talk a little bit more about
385 pounds of Braun Strowman.
how tall are you?
I'm not 6'8". I say I'm 6'3".
Have you ever worked with anybody at IWC who's 6'8"?
6'8". No, that's tall.
How much? The guy got to be 400 pounds.
385 pounds, according to Wikipedia. Braun Strowman debuted, guys, in a big fashion, and it's going to be very interesting now to see what they want to do with this, because this is a guy who is very rare. He was not exposed much in NXT. He was only there for 1 match, and then had a main event dark taping match. That has been noted. He might have done some training elsewhere. I like the addition of a Wyatt family member. They needed a third one, and they did not need that guy behind me, Eric Rowan. Because I think when Eric Rowan was there, he was that guy. He was a big guy, but there were still guys much bigger than him. There's nobody right now that looks the size, the strength as a Braun Strowman. And I'm not talking about the Big Show. I'm not talking about Mark Henry. This is a perfect opportunity for a young guy to come in and learn the craft of storytelling from a guy like Bray Wyatt and learn the in-ring techniques for a big guy like Luke Harper.
And here's my problem with it, though. And the question is, does Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose, do they need a third member? I say yes, and here's why. Because Braun Strowman completely decimated them by himself as Bray and Eric Rowan looked on. So if one guy can take out the two of them, two guys, and especially three Wyatt family members, can take them out. So yes, Reigns and Ambrose do need somebody. Now, I don't know what Eric Rowan's health is right now. He would be the person you would put in because he got kicked out, essentially, of the Wyatt family. You would think he's not coming back because Braun's there. But who else? If you look at NXT, who else would be there? The only other person I could think of, an up-and-coming young guy that could make his name, would be Apollo Crews. Thoughts?
That is a thought. I don't know. Do you think he's ready for that type of WWE spotlight already? He just had his first match.
Yeah, but
NXT
he's pretty
takeover.
impressive in his first match. But
was
Braun Strowman ready for that spotlight with one match?
Yeah, but Braun Strowman fits as a Wyatt. You look at him, he looks. Do you think Apollo Crews fits with?
Put some black pants
Roman
on him with
Reigns?
a flak jacket or whatever, and
I think Apollo Crews right now is a guy that is going to be a hot commodity in NXT, and he's going to let his legend grow in NXT like a lot of the guys have already done in NXT before he goes up there. The difference with him and a lot of other guys that have been on the main roster is this guy's bred to be. Like, you look at him. I saw him live on Saturday in NXT TakeOver Brooklyn. He looks the part of a main event guy. You can put him in with the Shield, but like you said, Britt, I don't know if he's that specific look that Roman Reigns, Dean Ambrose, the kind of the scrappy. He seems too pretty. He seems too perfect in a sense to be put together with the Shield. I don't know if he's the right fit. I personally don't think they need a third.
you can't go 3-on-2. There's no way.
But Braun Strowman's going to be a guy on the outside. He's not going to wrestle much.
So he's going to be Xavier Woods then?
He's going to be, yeah, and why not though? Because we've seen so many six-man tag team matches over and over and over again. You don't necessarily need the six-man tag with Strowman to come in, do one or two moves. I just don't think he's physically ready to perform in the ring like Luke Harper, like Dean Ambrose, like Roman Reigns. These guys can put on matches. They can go 15, 20 minutes. I think this guy comes in for one or two big moves or distraction with the referee. These guys are heels.
That's
Braun
the problem.
Strowman has that
you
heel
still
look.
have
There you go.
essentially a 3-on-2 advantage. You're going to need someone to counter Braun Strowman in the match that they have.
The guy is so big right now, whoever you put up against him is going to look weak.
And then what's the future? Here's someone you could put up against him. Kane. What about Kane?
Kane in the Shield? Man,
Why
your
not?
ass is itchy.
Why not?
Get over there and get some diapers because your
Reinvent
ass
Kane.
is itchy.
I mean,
Are you
Kane's
serious?
gone from the big red monster,
Kane
the big
and
red
Shield.
machine.
You know, I've grown to like you for
Corporate
quite
Kane.
some time, but
Josh,
that's just outlandish.
Why not Shield Kane?
With the current active WWE roster, not NXT, who would you place with Dean Ambrose and Roman Reigns?
I don't think there's anybody to place.
If you had to.
If I had to place one guy, man, that's really, there's nobody. I can't think of anybody else.
And here's who it's going to be. It's going to be whoever the Wyatt family comes out on Raw in the next week or two and just attacks for no reason. Could it be a
And
Mark
then they're just
Henry?
going to randomly attack.
Randomly attack someone, and then they align themselves with the Shield. It's probably someone. The answer to our question is probably right in front of our eyes, and we're thinking about it too much.
Yeah.
Well, what do you think? Hashtag at WZCSR. Who do you think will be the third member, if there is one, of the Shield?
I don't think it will be. It might be convoluted. It might be too much. But I'll tell you something. Coming up next part, Divas Revolution. Justin's going to join us. We're going to talk the 9 Divas at SummerSlam.
got the Divas.
And what is next for the Divas Revolution? This is the Diva?
We'll
That's
see.
next.
Is this
Hopefully.
CSR's Diva? I don't know. Stick around. Find out all about Divas Revolution right here on Chairshot Reality. Stay tuned.
There's a revolution going on here at CSR. We got Periscope now. People can watch every Thursday at 4:30 when we're filming stuff. You can see behind the scenes, see the first segment. We got a new podcast, just an audio podcast on CSRWrestling.com coming Thursday, hosted by our bloggers, and CSR fans can be on it. They can contribute and help write the show.
They can BS, right?
They can BS with the CSR fans. So we got a revolution going on at CSR.
We have the Justin LeBar Triple H beard in full effect.
Money.
I mean, he said no thank you to the
With the
goatee.
proper knot.
Yeah,
I
with
got
the
the
proper
I mean-
nod. David Allen, yeah, absolutely.
That's it.
You're welcome.
We got a revolution going on at CSR, and I almost feel in a way our revolution might be picking up more steam than what the Divas are.
Very much so.
Now, I just want to say this real quick, and I'm going to go around this way. I'm going to go to our Diva first. The girls were complaining. Paige said something, and then she deleted it. A couple of other girls said things on Instagram and Twitter about the New York crowd. Josh and I were there about them being a little bit ruly. And here's my thing. First off, the Sasha match obviously was phenomenal on NXT Saturday.
Yeah,
but the
Sasha
match
really-
Sunday at SummerSlam, the match Monday, too long. Too freaking long. Drew out too long. And quite frankly, to the girls, you can't have it both ways. You can't embrace the fans when they're screaming, we want more Divas, and then when they give you a little bit of flack, you can't come back and say, oh, I don't want to hear it from you. It doesn't work that way. Doesn't work that way.
Yeah, I mean the fans are who you're there to impress, whether it's in the arena or at home. So how can you be mad if they don't like? I think my favorite match of the weekend was definitely the Bayley Sasha Banks. Nothing against the WWE Divas, but I thought that was just my favorite.
No, I don't even think the other matches the Sunday and Monday weren't trained as actors. They were just drawn out too long. I think I want more one-on-one contests.
But this wrestling matches is the problem with the Divas Revolution. What was it before? The matches were too short. Now the matches are.
We've gotten excessive.
They had the Miz TV
Plus, you
segment.
have with the threes. There's a lot going on. Like it is hard to put together.
Yins are missing the point.
Yins.
Did
he
are yes, I did. Yins are missing the point.
Brittany was making a point. I was trying to hear her point. What's her?
No, I want to hear like.
Now we're all captivated.
I said it a month ago. Rewind the tape. Go back to 282, episode 83,
this
whatever
isn't VCR days anymore.
Well, you can go back and find it on WrestleZone.com, CSRWrestling.com.
Sting tapes or VHS.
At the end of the day, they want to fit all of this into one 10 to 15 minute segment. Why not give them a 9 o'clock segment, a 10 o'clock segment, 8 o'clock segment. Spread it out. It's too forced.
They did that for the first few weeks because you'd have 2 Divas matches. One Divas match would happen, then an hour and a half later, another one would happen.
And you don't need all 9 in one match. If a couple take a week off, take a week off. Because we don't see Cesaro every week. We don't see this guy every week. We don't see that guy every week. Guys get nights off. Give the gals a night off every once in a while so you can spot like 2 at a time, not 9 trying to steal each other's thunder.
And with 9 in there, that you have 9 very different wrestling styles. Yeah. The Bellas wrestle very differently from Sasha Banks and Becky Lynch. So when it's a hot mess.
With WWE, this is the one thing that I was a little ticked off about. Sasha Banks had the best match of the weekend, maybe, with her match against Bayley. But then Team Bad is just completely just an afterthought at SummerSlam. Quickly eliminated Tamina, the whole thing, it just seems so forced and so rushed. Yeah. And then Monday, you rarely see them. So you had the whole Miz TV segment, and they weren't even there. They came out afterwards.
Well, but what that problem, that goes back to which everybody's aware of, which is there's 2 different decision makers and processes. One, there's a separate decision maker and process for how Saturday show gets booked, and there's a whole different for how Sunday and Monday. And that's the unfortunate, and that's where we can't blame the girls. And I don't even blame the girls. I don't blame the girls for the match being drawn out. They got the time they got, so they were going to make the most of it. It just wasn't beneficial, as we said, for all these names and faces.
Well, let me ask you this though. Obviously, the rumors of John Cena sticking up for Nikki Bella.
Oh, get the hell out of here! There's been politics in wrestling for 60 years.
I said the same thing on WZ Daily. I said the exact same thing. I said John Cena and Nikki Bella. That's a backstage thing that people know. They don't bring it on TV. The guy is making the most money that you've seen since Austin. There's a reason
what
that he
people are
has
going to
some pull. Even if it's good or bad, right or wrong, he's still back there politicking for his girlfriend. You think Triple H would be in the position he is right now if he wasn't sleeping with Ross's daughter?
Exactly.
He might have the tools to do the job, but you don't think he's saying, you know what, Steph, let's 1-2 done. Now I'm up the ladder.
Go to the little pop down chair shot reality past episode.
Nothing wrong against him. I do the same thing.
Go look at the past
sound
episode.
effect really put it over the top.
Thank you.
That was pretty good. Go look at the past episodes again. And what I also said, I'm patting myself on the back, even though they're not going to do it.
What are you, Blake?
You need you need Divas tag titles.
Nope.
If you're gonna, yes, you do. Why not?
We don't need more titles.
Yes, if you're gonna focus on the Divas and be a revolution, you can't have 9 gals going for one title with a backlog in NXT.
And
I'm sorry.
How many guys go for the world title?
Her dad is awesome, top 2-3 personalities all time in wrestling, but Charlotte is not that good compared to the others. Compared to Sasha Banks.
Okay, so wait, the titles.
She's just too forced. Lose the woo, you're not Ric Flair. The figure
you can't blame her just like stunned.
She's gonna come chop you off that chair if you don't be
She's
careful.
very athletic.
Why don't you do it?
Why
be
would
your own person?
See, here's the thing: is because she's new
She
on the
will
main
evolve into
roster.
her own.
Is Bray Wyatt Mike Rotunda?
That's the stupidest
No,
comparison
it's
in the
not.
world. That is the worst comparison in the world.
Bull stuff.
Bray Wyatt
Make
doesn't.
it on your own.
Bray Wyatt doesn't have a catchphrase that says "Pay your taxes." She comes out and says, "Do it with Flair." So you gotta imagine there's gonna be an extension of Ric Flair.
There's no way to avoid the fact that she's Ric Flair's daughter. There's no way to avoid it. She will evolve into maybe a little bit more.
It's time to turn the page on Charlotte. Paige is your girl. Paige is the one that needs to be the spotlight.
Can I just give some love eventually when she gets there? Again, going to be a great heel. It's got a lot more work. I'm still happy with Eva Marie.
How much heat did she get in that Brooklyn crowd on Saturday night? She got the biggest boos of the night.
And I keep saying she will become not necessarily earning money, not saying she's going to be the absolute, but she is in that John Cena, evolving in that John Cena role over time. She got the You Can't Wrestle chance. She's going to get the chance of, she's always going to be the opposite to the Paiges of the world who are.
I already told you this before. In her defense,
She hates this.
No, I don't hate it. I would be very interested to see. I think her performance would be a lot better with a more veteran.
Yeah,
They're
absolutely.
throwing her in there with
Yeah.
With
rookie.
Carmella.
Yeah.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
Is this real?
Yeah.
Yeah, because every diva, there's 47 inches of extensions in that match at SummerSlam. It was absolutely ridiculous.
What
It's
in the
it's not a
world?
barber
What's
shop.
that?
We're not sweeping up hair. What's the matter?
The La Barber Shop?
The La Barber Shop.
Great marketing tool. Get
La
a haircut
Barber
from
Shop.
La Barber. Over here.
It'd be a great thing if I ever had a stable of divas, the La Barber Shop.
No, you're never getting a stable of divas ever, okay? The only
man
diva
can
you'll ever
dream.
get, I'm leaving.
I can dream.
Yeah,
Let
I can
him
dream.
leave.
I got Rhino, IWC World Champion.
Best
I got
pop.
RJ City.
Best pop
I
of the
don't have
weekend.
Baker.
Overrated.
Best pops of the weekend.
Both overrated. Rhino, RJ City, look them up. It's Team LeVar.
Summer Rae, Lana, best pop. They didn't even wrestle. Best pop.
Because you know why? Because there's just two of them. They're focusing on good story.
Exactly.
The
There's
di-
only 2 of them. You don't need all 9 of them.
Exactly, but no,
Bah.
all 9 have a role, but we need to have some more singles matches. But again, you do not need tag team titles of divas.
If
don't
you're
need
going to
more.
focus on 9,
No, you don't. Not all 9 are always going to be focused. It's just right now, as there's gang warfare.
wait till she gets there.
Hey, let's not count our chicken. Ah!